After their wedding, Saki and her husband decided it was time to begin a new chapter. They had always dreamed of building a life away from the rush of the city, somewhere calm where they could focus on each other and the family they hoped to create. That dream brought them to an old house, standing quietly at the edge of a peaceful neighborhood. The house was nothing extraordinary at first glance, yet for Saki and her husband, it immediately felt like home. There was something about the way the light filtered through the windows in the morning, and the way the evenings wrapped the house in silence. It was not just a place to live, it was a place where they could grow together, surrounded by peace. Their first days they were filled with joy. They rearranged the rooms, planted flowers in the garden, and laughed as they carried groceries down the quiet street. Everything seemed to fall into place, as if life itself was giving them a blessing. Then, one afternoon, something unusual happened. Saki was returning home after shopping when she noticed a man standing quietly in the garden. He was a stranger to her, yet his presence was calm, almost hesitant, as though he didn't want to intrude. He greeted her politely, with a respectful bow, and explained in a soft voice that he had once lived in this house. In his tone, there was a mixture of nostalgia and quiet sorrow. He spoke of memories that the walls and windows had witnessed, moments of youth, of family gatherings, of laughter that once filled the space. But life, with its twists and changes, had taken a different turn, and he had been forced to let go of the house many years ago. Saki listened carefully, though she kept her distance at first. It is natural to be cautious when meeting someone new, especially in a place you call home. But there was something about the way he looked at the garden, the way his eyes softened when he spoke about the past, that made her pause. He did not seem threatening or intrusive. Rather, he seemed like someone carrying a quiet longing for something he could never truly regain. In the days that followed, Saki began to notice the man again. He didn't come every day, nor did he ever disturb them directly. Instead, he would quietly walk past the garden or stop for just a moment to look at the house. It was as though he was visiting a memory rather than a building, silently searching for fragments of his past. One particularly hot afternoon, Saki found him standing near the edge of the garden. His face showed signs of exhaustion from the harsh summer sun. Without hesitation, she stepped outside, offered him a glass of water, and gently asked if he was all right. He looked surprised by her kindness, then smiled with gratitude. For the first time, a real conversation began between them. The man shared small details, not complaints, not regrets, but memories. Every word carried a softness, a deep respect for what once was. Listening to him, Saki felt something shift within her. She realized this wasn't simply about an old house. Later that evening, she told her husband what had happened. He listened carefully, but his reaction was mixed. Allowing a stranger back into it, even with good intentions, was not a small decision. Saki understood his concern, yet she couldn't shake the image of the man's expression when he spoke about his memories. There was no bitterness in his words, only appreciation and longing. It wasn't about reclaiming the house or causing trouble. It was about reconnecting even briefly with the life he once lived there. Her husband thought about it for a long while. In the end, he realized that sometimes protecting what is ours doesn't mean closing the door to others. It can also mean opening the door in a way that uplifts both sides. And so, together, they began to consider a simple but powerful gesture. What if they invited him back, just once, to step inside and see the home he so clearly missed? It was a thought that carried both risk and reward, but it was also a thought that would soon change the meaning of that old house for all three of them. After much reflection, Saki and her husband invited the man back into their home, recognizing it as part of his life story too. As he walked through each room, touching the walls and windows, his face softened with gratitude. The house brought back memories of family, joy, and lessons from the past, helping him find peace rather than loss. Watching quietly, Saki and her husband felt honored to share this moment. They realized kindness grows when shared, connecting lives through empathy and memory. Their home was no longer just theirs, but part of a larger story, stitched together by compassion. Saki and her husband often reflected on that evening, realizing their home held more than walls. It carried memories and stories. By welcoming the man, they gave him closure and peace while receiving a lesson in compassion. His gratitude reminded them that kindness, even small, can ripple far beyond the moment. They saw that every person carries unseen stories, and by listening and showing empathy, we build connections. A home's true value lies not in ownership, but in the lives it touches. Kindness costs nothing, yet leaves something priceless: memories, love, and belonging that continue to shape us all.